So this is Wreckland Run, the solo hero series game from Renegade Games, as well as the Fallout expansion that comes separate from it. It gives you a couple extra cars and drivers, and this is a basic setup with the addition of just showing you guys some of the content that comes with it. So your chapters will have your bosses and some extra enemies and specific items that the bosses come with that you can use as you progress through the story. Other cars and their upgrade parts here, and then your scenario book. So basically all you need to have on the table is what you see on this playmat here and this book with the marker here. So the game lasts 3 rounds, and the basic gist of it is that you go through 2 phases over those 3 rounds, and each round will have a wreckage phase where you will draw a certain number of cards. So in this case it's 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you will roll your dice and spin these dice to purchase upgrades based on what the cost says at the bottom. And these are just symbols like 3 A's, which means if it's 3 A's, then you have to have 3 dice that are the same. This card here will tell you what all these things mean. In this case, this symbol down here means that I can use any 3 dice to purchase this particular card. So I'll take that, I'll spin these 3, I'll buy this, I'll place it on an empty space. I'll also spend 2 dice that are the same over here, so these 2 4s, and I'll repair this destruction here that I had from the last round. Things like that. So once I go through, I'll spin these dice to buy cards and upgrade my vehicle. And you want to try to cover everything that you can to keep yourself safe, essentially. I can't ever repair my core, so if the middle of my car gets enough damage and gets blown up, it's game over. But I can repair these during the wreckage phase, and in the run phase I can repair, but it's not as effective. If I place any red dice at any point, once it's placed, I'll then re-roll it, and if I get a specific number, I have to resolve an enemy effect. So 1 through 3 is nothing, 4, 5, and 6 is I'm damaging parts, ignoring shields, or I'm completely destroying something. If then I go to once I finish purchasing things, if I want to re-roll any dice, I can just discard one of the cards that I have to purchase from, and then re-roll whatever's left. Once I spend it to buy something, then these go away. So let's just say I purchase these and I use his ability to purchase 1 for less. Then I would just discard the rest of these or pop them back in the deck somewhere, and I go onto my run phase. And in the run phase, that's where you're doing all the fighting. That's where this feels like a Mad Max Fury Road all-out battle where I'm trying not to die. So essentially what I'll do is I'll roll all these dice again. I'll check and see if any of the red dice match the numbers on any of the enemy cards here. And in this case, I've got a 5, a 2, and a 4. And I got a 2 and a 4. So I would rather do, I'd rather activate the 4. Now in this case, with this guy, he does 3 damage to 1 part. If I'd have activated him, he would do 1 damage to 3 parts. Actually, I think I'll do that. I'll activate the 2. Now you have to place a die that matches that number exactly on there, and then they'll attack. For your parts, you can then, after you place 1 red die, place up to 3 of the white dice. This is going to be for your enemy or for your parts. But you can also place any of these or use any of these scrap cards from your scrap pile as the dice value that's printed on the card. If it's more than 1 die, then you can only use 1 of them. So you essentially do that and battle, and the turn will go like that all the time. So you'll place a red die, place up to 3 white dice, then you can re-roll these, and place another red dice and up to 3 white dice, re-roll, place another red dice up to 3 white dice, and after every enemy that attacks does its damage, it's going to move to another section clockwise around your car. If you placed a die, so for example, if I placed a 3, I could place it on this guy, he would attack, and he would attack since they're both 3, and then they would both move to subsequent sections. And then when I attack, anything on this side of my car would attack this side of the car on the left. Front and back would attack left or rear, or left or front. Middle only attacks front or back. And same over here. This will attack this section, this will attack these 2 sections, and this attacks over here. Once you go through that phase and you get down to just 2 cars, they regroup and scatter, and then you change up the game and go over to your next round. So it would be in round 2. You do the phase where you build and repair and replace parts and things again, and then you go back into another run phase where you fight. Some cars have shields. Those shields stay there for every attack. But if you can damage an enemy enough to destroy it with the last hit without having any carryover damage, it's considered a perfect kill, and that car becomes a scrap card, which means it becomes a free die value for you to use, and you can use it at any point back to back to reactivate the same moves over and over again. You can only activate a move once, though, if you place a die on it. Now, if you place a die on a specific thing here, and it's the exact value of what's printed there, that's considered a perfect die placement, and you will get a bonus for it. So, for example, on this one, if I placed a 3 or a 4, then I would be able to do the symbols that are up top here and the symbol in the middle. So that little yellow bullseye is basically saying that I placed a 4, I could do this and that together. And what those symbols mean is that I can set aside a die so that it's not re-rolled in the next step, and it includes red dice. So if I place this and I can't place these, I'll use that move to set this aside, so I don't have to re-roll it since 5s won't activate. As long as I place 1, I'm good. If I don't place any, I have to then roll a red die and resolve an enemy effect on the run side, which are significantly worse than what they are here. Once you get through the 3rd round, you'll face the boss. The goal is to beat the boss and not die, and if you do that, you've won the scenario and you can move on to the next, or you can play it as one-off games. But this is a fantastic game. The gameplay is really cool. It really does feel like a Mad Max style battle. You can get different drivers with different effects, and these scrap cards really help you in trying to plan what you're going to build on the car when you get new cards. It makes this a really unique game to play, and each car is different with different health. If the core middle section of your car is destroyed, game over because you die there. If anything else is destroyed, you can repair it in your wreckage phase and keep going on and trucking on until you beat the campaign. That's Wreckland Run. Hope you guys check it out, and if you do, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.